Handsome Video World, and welcome to my review for Gravity. I watched this movie in IMAX 3D today down in Birmingham. I have my ticket to confirm it. There you go. Awesome stuff. It's just been released in the UK this week. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. The US have had it like a month in advance. So yeah, damn you Americans. But yeah, I finished watching it today, and what can I say? Well, being the fact that I watched it in IMAX 3D, which is the huge screen, one of the biggest in my area. Such an experience, which I think it is literally one of the best cinema experiences I've ever had to date. You know, putting Avatar aside, putting Dark Knight Rises, yeah, this is by far one of the best cinema experiences I've had. It'll probably not be the best film ever I've seen at the cinema, but definitely one of my toppest just general viewings of a movie I've ever seen. Absolutely fantastic. So what do I think of Gravity? Absolutely brilliant, stunning, absolutely stunning. Yeah, let's just talk about Gravity. This film is from the same director who did Children of Men and Harry Potter, The Prisoner of Azkaban, two of my personal favourite movies. He's on a definite roll with his movie tracks. He's definitely picking certain projects, and you can definitely tell that Children of Men and Harry Potter is his movies just by the actual cinematography and just the lighting and just how he visually sees it on screen. Harry Potter 3 I felt was a very dark turn for the franchise, and of course Children of Men was a very good story in terms of just, you know, of what it's trying to portray, you know, the idea of, you know, kind of children anymore, and just visually looks really dark and gritty. And he's applied all that to a space survival movie, a disaster movie in a sense. Just fantastic. He was definitely the perfect man for the job, and he pulled it off beautifully well. The two main stars in this, of course, Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, which we'll get over to in a minute. The main storyline for this movie, if you haven't already guessed from the trailer, is basically it's an astronaut team in space. Something occurs, and you know, their ship gets destroyed, you know, just by simple debris, you know, by satellites being blown up in space, and they have to try and survive. They have to try and, like, you know, adapt, you know, stay calm, get into the situation. It is like a pure survival movie in space, and, you know, it's thinking rationally, it's trying to do the right thing in the situation and reacting smartly, and use your training, use what you got. And it calls for some good character moments for sure, and there's definitely some moments where you're like, oh, get in there kind of thing for sure. And it's like, oh, the film, for me anyway, from my experience, really gripped me in from start to finish. Especially the cinematography work is absolutely stunning. There's lots of great one-shots. I mean, it very rarely does the movie actually edit it. It does edit it in certain places, but the first shot is just all in one. It just, like, it's a never-ending 10-minute take, and it's like, you know, you get really merged into it. And when a movie can do that, when a movie can actually just hook you and just actually forget you're actually watching a movie, that's something really special. And it's kind of like a flight simulator in a way, because it's kind of like it cuts the shots like third person, sorry, actually in the helmet, and actually, like, you actually feel like you're actually in the situation from, like, the sounds and all that type of stuff. The actual score and the soundtrack, right, the soundtrack is absolutely fantastic. Obviously the main premise is there's no sound in space, there's no explosions, kind of thing like that, so you can't hear explosions in it. It's all very realistic sound, like, you know, like you hear from a vacuum in a sense, you know, inside a living vacuum. And I really like the individual sounds, especially from the communication hubs, and, you know, the first opening shot was brilliant, and each sound in the movie is just done really well, especially when there is fire that does break out in certain places. It doesn't, you know, break out like an actual full-on explosion kind of thing. It actually does travel, it actually, you know, goes for the air ducts and all that type of stuff. And, you know, the sound you can really appreciate, and think, like, how much time do they put into this movie? It is absolutely stunning. Lighting in this movie is also brilliant. I'd love to know how they did some of this stuff, because obviously being outside in space quite a lot, and, you know, having the giant Earth right there, and it's, you know, spinning around rotation from the sun side to the dark side, you can definitely tell all the shadow work is on their helmet, and it's like the attention to detail is just brilliant, because when they're spinning around moving, the light's moving it with it, and you can just see what's happening, and with some flexion off that and on top of thing, it's like, wow, you really grip yourself into it. There's nothing that I personally felt that was lacking in maybe, you know, the science or the kind of the exploitation or all that type of stuff. You know, it's all in there, and it's like, you know what, it's, for me, it's believable. This is probably one of the most realistic sci-fi movies in space I've ever seen. and I think Star Wars is in for a big shock next year for sure. But yeah, I mean, technically, as a technical standpoint piece, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. You know, lighting, sound, cinematography, just absolutely stunning. CGI is flawless. You can hardly tell what stuff was CGI and what was practical. You know, it barely. I mean, some bits obviously you can tell in certain scenes, obviously, but a lot of it you can feel like, was that actually filmed in space? Seriously, because there's just some shots where you're thinking like, they can't have done that on a computer, no way. And it's just, you know, the actual space stuff and the actual huge planet of Earth is just brilliant. Really stunning, really beautiful shots for sure. And actually going from a character standpoint, there's mainly two characters that we're kind of, you know, rooting for and, you know, wanting to survive and, you know, get in there, you know, try and adapt to the situation. We have George Clooney's character, which is kind of like he's on his last mission on space. He's done the rodeo before, and he's very calm, very, you know, he doesn't panic the situation. Of course, when the thing does hit the actual space station with the first 10 minutes of the movie, he says like, you know, get back to this, inside the shuttle right now, go, do what I say right now. And it's like, you do not want to question him or say, you know, no, or anything along those lines. You just do what he says and you do it. He's very calm, he's very stable-minded. Even when things are happening and he can't control it, he's, you know, kind of telling Sandra Bullock's character to stay calm, think of something distractive, you know, think of what would you be doing at home right now? I'll listen to the radio, okay, what station would you listen to? And it's that type of character's, you know, relationship which I really, really enjoyed on screen. Sandra Bullock's character is kind of like, you know, kind of first time out in space. You know, she's done 6 months with holidays kind of thing. She hasn't really done this before. I mean, she's a bit, she enjoys the silence of space. Basically, something happened to her in the past, something that we find out during the movie, and it's kind of brought her to a certain point, certain mindset, and she likes the idea of space, being alone, and, you know, that type of thing, and just the peace and the quiet of it. And there's definitely a couple of moments where you're thinking, you know, well, I would react the same way in that situation, sort of things where like, pull yourself together, woman, kind of thing. And then there's moments where you're like, holy shit, kind of thing. Yes, for the female protagonist kind of thing, for our kind of main character, which were, I would think Sandra Bullock is our main kind of character in the sense that we're trying to root for and try and, like, you know, get in there kind of thing. She absolutely is fantastic. Sandra Bullock has really blown me away in terms of acting wise. I saw her in the Heat comedy, that was pretty good, she was pretty funny in that. This is actually Oscar nomination role here. She's brilliant in this movie, really well acted. George Clooney, again, a really well done actor. He was kind of like just, you know, a different type of character supporting, you know, Sandra Bullock's character in the sense, you know, the personalities. And I really like the both actors. They're really fantastic on screen. They definitely bounce off each other really, really well. And, you know, in terms of a survival movie, characters that we want to root for and, you know, just go for it, you know, kind of thing like that, I got really merged into it, and just fantastic. For an hour and a half movie, it didn't seem like, it seemed like a 2-hour movie. Scoring in this movie is also fantastic also, especially in some of the kind of action scenes in space, fantastic. Towards the end of the movie, there's just like non-stop scoring. It's like, oh, so intense, you know, definitely some just memorable scenes in it. It's a stunning movie. Just so intense, so gripping, and there's not much I can say about the movie without giving it away. If you're worried about kind of hype or worrying if this is going to be like a cinema watch, I'm not sure, like I was very skeptical. I wasn't sure what to make out from the trailer, from people not hyping it up, saying it's this and that, like 5 stars everywhere. It is definitely worth the experience. I'd recommend IMAX 3D. You definitely get your full money's worth there for sure. I say go and watch it at the cinema, you will not be disappointed. Just be very careful what your hype. Hype was something that can ruin the movie, or you can get, you know, you can lose interest in it. For me, I got more than I wanted out of the movie and so much more. So, you know, take that as you will. Go and watch it. It's a great movie, fantastic. That's been my review for Gravity in IMAX 3D. I hope you enjoy watching this review. What do you think of the movie? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Any opinions? Comment down below. So in the meantime, I'm Andrew from Game TV.